What's going on, y'all? I have a question for you. Are you aware of how you think about food throughout the day? Now, pay attention to what I'm asking you because it might seem like I'm just kind of just talking, but really pay attention to this because I really sincerely believe this is one of the biggest reasons why people struggle with unhealthy eating and of course the consequences that come with that, like obesity, being overweight, lifestyle diseases like hypertension, so on and so forth. If you think about it, we are going throughout the day and we're having a whole lot of thoughts. Even now, I'm thinking about, how I need to drink some water because my mouth feels a little dry. I'm thinking about how I might look on the camera to you. I'm thinking about it's a little bit cool inside of my office here. Thinking about all these things. Thinking about how my neck, the neck of my shirt is kind of drooping. Go ahead and fix that real quick. But you think about all kinds of things. But for the average person, we're not really thinking about the fact that we're having those thoughts. We're not as they say, we're not thinking about what we think about. Now, hear me, because even that saying that I just said, think about what you think about, is cliche because it sounds cute and snazzy and all that kind of stuff. But if you overlook it because of that, you're going to miss the whole point. I believe this is the way that most of us think about food. We have all these thoughts running through our heads that we're not aware of. But what happens is, at least we're not consciously aware of them, it's like they're kind of running in our subconscious mind. And so I believe what happens is because, one, we have learned to not pay attention to the thoughts that we have about food. Two, by consuming these junk foods that are very sugary, very starchy, very salty, all that kind of stuff, it's caused us to learn to eat based on taste and taste alone, because all those junk foods are only based they're only focused on taste. A lot of them have zero nutritional value. And even if they have nutritional value, a lot of times all the sugar and salt and preservatives and all that kind of stuff really make the food worse for you than and kind of negate the benefits. So because we're not thinking about what we're eating, because we lead with desire in the sense of cravings, then we actually eat without thinking. We eat without thinking. We react to our feelings. We react to them. So we don't think about what we're feeling. We don't think about the thoughts that lead to our feelings. We just, maybe you're sitting typing on your computer, and then next thing you know, you have a craving for something salty. And so you just simply go and do it. You see what I'm saying? Like, you just go and eat the salty food. You don't even think about it. Now, that is something that is so important for us as humans, because the thing that like I said, we don't realize how quickly we react to the way that we feel. How quickly we react to subconscious thoughts because we're just used to it. Okay? I've heard people refer to like your subconscious thoughts as kind of like just the like the background stuff working in a computer or whatever. It just happens, and so we just act based on that stuff. Those kind of subconscious thoughts about food really have been built up by habits that we've unknowingly adopted, things we've been exposed to, these hyper sweet, hyper sugary, starchy, whatever type of foods, junk foods, kind of causing us to like really, really kind of like um really, really kind of have a strong bond, so to speak, to unhealthy food. And so then it's like automatic to the point that a lot of us feel like, oh, I can't do without this. If somebody tells you, whatever, you might need to get rid of that. Oh, I can't do without that. Yeah, because you have this very strong bond that's been created through that strong feeling that's connected to that particular food. And you're used to consuming that, you know, habitually in a reactive kind of way. Um so we don't realize how quickly we react to the way that we feel based on like food stuff. And we also don't realize how much we identify with our feelings. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is the way that most of us think about food is that the way that food makes us feel, we kind of like identify with that. But the thing to remember is the thoughts that lead to those feelings, those thoughts are not, they're not really like your thought. They're not you. They're not you. They're just like thoughts. And you learn to kind of like react based on those thoughts. But we identify with those thoughts like, yeah, this is who I am. I just love to eat. I just love to eat. But the thing is, it's like food is hardly that's not the main thing that we need. It's one of the things that we need, real food, but it's hardly like, like the encompassing need. We have other needs as well, you know? And so you also have to understand that your thoughts about food do not just identify who you are as a person. And so what happens is when we identify with those thoughts we have about food, like we just kind of like eat in these impulsive, reactive kind of ways, then it's almost like we kind of cement the our unhealthy eating habits because we identify with those. But you have to understand that you actually can think about the thoughts you're having about the food. And because of that, that means that rather than those thoughts being yours, it's more so kind of like you're kind of like the real you is kind of able to kind of look over and watch and kind of see what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Most of us don't live that way in regard to food or even overall, but I'm not talking about overall because this is a health and fitness podcast. Um, but the thing that I want to tell you to cut to the chase is if you want to tackle unhealthy eating that's causing you health problems and whatnot, remember that you as a human have the ability to reason. You have the ability to choose. Now, just because you're used to reacting to every craving that you have, it doesn't mean that you have to. And really, all you need to do is learn to be aware of the thoughts that you have about food. When you're at work and you know it's snack machines down the hall, you know that such and such has donuts every Wednesday and Friday. You know that coffee club, they got, I don't have an issue with coffee, but I do have an issue with artificial creamers and stuff like that and artificial sweeteners. But they got all that kind of stuff there. You actually have the ability, instead of just impulsively just kind of going and doing what you've always done, you can actually see the thought coming and like choose, okay, I am not going to do that today. Or instead of doing this, instead of going and getting those Nicot cookies or getting the Chips Ahoy or getting the Lay's, I am going to bring an apple with me to work today. Now, some of y'all, when y'all heard me say that, you kind of cringed on the inside, but you know that you want a better health outcome. You want a better weight outcome. So let's just kind of be honest with ourselves. If you really want that kind of stuff, then you have to stop identifying with the cookies and the chips and stuff. I'm not saying that you never eat those again, but that cannot be the main thing that you eat. It can't be if health is really what you want. Period. And we can't kind of be, we can't beat around the bush with it, because it's just too much at stake. It's too much at stake for us to kind of like just be playing with it or whatever. You ultimately have to remember you are in control. So if you are in control or you're able to be in control, then you need to get in control. And that is going to be huge when it comes to weight loss, dealing with lifestyle cause health issues and so on and so forth. You have to remember that you have the ability to choose. But because we grow up in a society where we are taught to lean into our cravings. We're taught to do that. Most of us just react to the cravings. We're not even aware of the thoughts that we have because we never take the time to be aware, and we relinquish our ability to choose. So all I'm telling you in this video is remember that you have the power to choose. Be aware of how you are thinking about food. Be aware of how you think about food, y'all.